Why do so many people disappear from your life after 70? It's not always because of loneliness, bitterness, or isolation. Sometimes it's something deeper, a quiet inner shift that changes how you want to spend your time. Maybe you've noticed that your desire to visit others just isn't what it used to be. And if that sounds familiar, let me reassure you, you're not alone, and you're definitely not wrong. In fact, there's a hidden wisdom behind it that hardly anyone talks about. In today's video, we're exploring 6 meaningful reasons many people over 70 stop visiting others. And it's not just about health or convenience. These go deeper. They reveal why stepping away from old social habits isn't a sign of fading. It's a sign of growing, of choosing truth over routine, peace over pressure. This isn't about turning away from people. It's about finally turning toward yourself. So if you've ever caught yourself thinking, I just don't want to go anymore, stay with us, because by the end of this video, not only will you understand why, you might even feel proud of it.
Reason number 1, emotional boundaries. One of the most unexpected changes after 70 is realizing just how much emotional energy certain visits take. Sure, you might expect to feel tired physically, but it's the emotional exhaustion that sneaks up on you. Conversations that once felt easy now feel draining. Listening to others complain, rehash old arguments, or talk nonstop without once asking how you're doing, it wears you out. You leave not feeling uplifted, but worn down. And so, you start to see that not all interactions are good for your spirit. While others might assume you're withdrawing because of age or health, the truth is, you're simply being more careful with your heart. Setting emotional boundaries becomes a necessity, not a sign of selfishness. You no longer sacrifice your peace to keep others happy. This is growth, psychological and emotional. In our earlier years, we're taught to be polite, to show up, to keep the peace even when it costs us. But aging invites us to unlearn that. It asks us to protect our own inner space, especially when we've spent years giving it away.
Think of someone like Paul, 82. He used to visit his brother every other Sunday, but every time, the visit ended with tension. Arguments about politics, old memories that reopened wounds. He'd come home feeling anxious, on edge. So one day, he just stopped going. His brother didn't get it, but Paul did. He chose peace over habit, because sometimes even family can be too much. Emotional boundaries also show up when you notice a visit feels one-sided. When someone barely looks up from their phone or seems distracted while you're there. That feeling of being tolerated instead of welcomed, it becomes impossible to ignore. So, instead of chasing connections that drain you, you start protecting your time for the people who actually lift you up. It's not resentment, it's respect for yourself. Just like you wouldn't walk 5 miles on a sprained ankle, you stop walking into conversations that leave you limping emotionally. And sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to stop showing up where your presence no longer feels at home.
Reason number 2, time becomes sacred. One of the most important lessons that comes with age is this: time is no longer something you give away lightly. When you were younger, you might have spent long hours at family events or chatted with neighbors just to be polite, thinking there'd always be more time. But after 70, your relationship with time changes. It no longer feels endless. It feels sacred. Every hour becomes personal and meaningful. Not because you're selfish, but because you understand what your time is worth. Now every moment you give to someone is a moment not spent resting, healing, or enjoying something that brings you peace. And that awareness doesn't make you bitter, it makes you wise. You start choosing your time carefully, not for empty talk or draining visits, but for real connection, for beauty, for joy. Think about Lorraine, 76. For years, she drove 3 hours round trip every month to see her cousin. They'd talk, eat, watch TV. But over time, those visits felt routine. Not bad, but not fulfilling either. 3 hours each way started to feel like too much. One day, Lorraine said, "I think I'd rather spend that time by the lake, sketching." So she did, and she never looked back. She didn't regret stepping back. She felt free. This is what it means to grow into your life, to choose what feels right, not what's expected. You're not turning your back on others. You're turning toward what truly matters to you. Reason number 3, the emotional toll is too high. Another reason many people stop visiting after 70, the emotional toll becomes too heavy. It's not about being antisocial. It's about being emotionally honest. You may have tolerated small talk, gossip, or even manipulative dynamics in the past. But now it just feels exhausting. And it's not even the loud moments that drain you. Sometimes it's the emptiness that does it. You sit through conversations that feel shallow or repetitive. You nod politely, but inside, you're disconnected. And when the visit ends, you don't feel closer. You feel depleted. Others might think you're growing distant, but in reality, you've simply outgrown the need to entertain or pretend. You're choosing calm over performance. And that's not losing interest, it's gaining clarity. This is what psychologists call emotional selectivity. As we age, we naturally become more selective about who we spend time with, focusing only on the relationships that feel real and nourishing. You choose quality over quantity, depth over noise. Harold, 74, used to attend weekend gatherings with his extended family, but they rarely asked about him. They talked over each other, showed off, and barely noticed when he stopped coming. But Harold didn't leave out of bitterness. He left out of self-respect. Now he gardens, reads, and walks with a close friend who truly listens, and he's never felt more emotionally whole. If you've ever left a visit feeling more tired than when you arrived, that's not just age. That's your inner wisdom telling you, you don't need this anymore. Reason number 4, energy becomes precious. Here's something no one warns you about after 70. Even the simplest outing starts to feel like an expedition. You get ready, maybe bring a gift or treat, head out. And by the time you return, it feels like you've run a marathon. And that's not weakness, it's just your body asking for more care. Your energy becomes a limited, precious resource, and what used to take a couple of hours to recover from now takes a full day or more. Others might notice you don't show up as much, but they don't see what it takes for you to show up at all. Behind each decision to stay home is a thoughtful weighing of what you can handle, and physical comfort matters now more than ever. Hard chairs, long talks, foods that don't agree with you, stares that hurt your knees, those things add up. So you start choosing ease over effort, rest over running around. This is called embodied wisdom, the body's way of telling you when it's time to slow down. Barbara, 78, used to attend weekly coffee meetups, but the drive, parking, and seating left her sore and exhausted. When she finally stopped going, her friend said, "But we miss you." And Barbara gently replied, "I miss me too, especially when I overdo it." Choosing rest doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've learned to listen and respect what your body needs. Reason number 5, emotional economy. As you grow older, something powerful happens. You learn the value of your emotional energy. And just like you wouldn't waste your money on things that don't serve you, you stop spending your emotions on people or situations that leave you feeling empty or small. That's emotional economy. And it's one of the greatest lessons aging can teach you. You stop forcing smiles, biting your tongue, or showing up out of obligation. You begin choosing peace, not performance. Whether it's a draining friend, a dismissive relative, or a one-sided relationship, you begin to let go. Walter, 82, used to call his son every week, but the calls were tense and unkind. One day he said, "This isn't love, it's duty." So he stopped calling, and in doing so, he found peace. He poured that energy into a neighbor who shared his love of jazz and crosswords. This is the shift. You stop explaining yourself. You stop chasing those who don't see you. You start building a life that feels warm, steady, and real, and you protect that life like it's sacred, because it is. Reason number 6, the self-respect awakening. There comes a time when you stop needing others' approval to value yourself. You stop shrinking to fit into other people's expectations. You stop overgiving just to feel included. And in that moment, something powerful awakens. Self-respect. It doesn't shout. It doesn't argue. It simply says, "No more." You start saying no to things that drain you. You say yes only when you truly mean it. Marilyn, 76, used to be the family helper. She hosted, babysat, organized, even when it cost her health. One year, she declined the big family gathering. Instead, she took a quiet weekend for herself at the lake. Her daughter was shocked, but Marilyn replied, "This time, I'm counting on me." That one choice changed everything. Her family started respecting her space, and she finally started honoring her own needs. This awakening doesn't push people away. It teaches them how to treat you by how you treat yourself.
Final thoughts. If you found yourself stepping back from visits after 70, choosing quiet mornings over loud gatherings, or watching your circle grow smaller, know this: you're not fading. You're growing into yourself. Age brings clarity. It strips away the noise. It shows you what truly matters and what never really did.
Not every connection is meant to last. Not every version of you is meant to stay the same. You're evolving, and in that evolution, you're choosing peace. So if you find joy in solitude, pride in saying no, or comfort in being alone, you're not selfish, you're wise. Thank you for spending your time with us today. If this video spoke to you, leave a comment below with one insight you're taking with you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love for you to join us. Your support helps us keep creating content that matters. We'll see you in the next video.